It isn't often Connecticut comes up. Sure, they have a lot of malls, but within the paths that I take to the northeast, the state just never really comes up that much. And when it does, I don't hear too many good things about it. But the malls are neat looking though. Take the Enfield Square Mall, for example. Enfield Square Mall would host its official grand opening on November 4th, 1971, having been developed by May Centers, a commercial division of the May Company. A little further digging reveals that they went by the name Centermark Properties as well. G. Fox and Steigers would open alongside the mall, while JCPenney required more time to be complete, opening as the third anchor in 1972. Ceremonies would include speeches by prominent local figures involved with the mall, which included the Area Chamber of Commerce's then president, Robert Fury, as well as music performances by the Kosciuszko Junior High School, featuring a 90-strong band with 20 pom-pom girls. The mall was initially praised for giving Enfield and the surrounding region a place for people to shop for everything at. While the mall seemed to have a good start, hosting a number of local events which included a charity ball shortly after opening day, which was made to raise money for the construction of a new hospital, as well as a seasonal Christmas bazaar and the bargain barn. Something else that stuck out to me was an article that spoke of a fight breaking out at the mall in December 1972, which resulted in the arrest of 6 for disorderly conduct when police arrived to disperse the fight. Another arrest was made due to the forgery of checks under someone else's name. A power outage in 1977 due to an ice storm would also occur, but this only disrupted operations for a short time. Fast forward to the 90s, and G. Fox would get merged with May Company-owned Filene's, and would be turned into a Filene store. Meanwhile, Steigers would close in 1994, and while Centermark Properties had plans to expand and repurpose the space, they ultimately never went through with their plans, running into permit disputes and likely financial ones as well, as the company would get acquired by the Westfield Group in 1996, resulting in the brief renaming of the Enfield Square Mall into Westfield Shoppingtown Enfield. The Steiger space wouldn't sit vacant for long, however, as it would become home to Sears in 1997. The 2000s would see a lot happen with the mall. Some of it being good and some of it being bad. JCPenney would close its doors in 2000, but Filene's would see an opportunity and would open a secondary store in JCPenney's place. In 2001, Target would move into the mall, building a brand new anchor space on the north end. A new movie theater would also be integrated to the back end of the mall at this time. Filene's would later be devoured by Macy's in 2006 as May Company and Federated Department Stores merged together and consolidated everything under the Macy's nameplate. Westfield Properties didn't seem to want to do much else with the mall, and would ultimately sell the mall for $80 million to a company called Centro Properties Group, whom would bring in Brixmor Property Group to handle management at the mall. And this would become a bit messy to keep up with as Madison Marquette came in to handle management around 2012, and more names are going to come up later. And as we marched into the 2010s, things would only get worse for the Enfield Square. Macy's would close all operations in 2016, trying to remove unprofitable stores from its portfolio. Meanwhile, Brixmor Property Group, whom seemed to be on their own in 2016, would be foreclosed upon by JP Morgan Chase after defaulting upon a $240 million loan, which was initially taken out for renovation purposes. And I have to ask, what renovations? Now, while all this was happening, Sears would close their doors for the last time in early 2017, surprising no one. And this would leave Target as the remaining anchor of the Enfield Square Mall. Down this side corridor leading to the bathrooms and probably the management office as well, you can find pictures of happier days at this mall. Ownership would only get worse as JP Morgan would sell the mall to an unidentified buyer near the end of 2018, and the mall would be sold again in 2019 to a joint venture between Namdar and Mason Asset Management, and Hakimi Global Incorporated. Namdar would be the front runner and did at least announce plans to redevelop the property, though saying and doing are two different things, and the property would remain unchanged even as Macy's sold their property to them. In 2022, the roof of the Macy's store collapsed. I thought I would have seen something since I was there that year, but I guess not. And when the town reached out, the owners of the mall were silent. This trend of horrendous maintenance between Namdar and others is getting old, if I'm going to be honest. And to make matters worse, major mall tenants were finally taking off, and in 2023, Cinemark would close up the theater. Enter 2024. And Namdar would sell the mall off to Woodsonia Acquisitions, whom would announce plans to demolish the mall and replace it with another lifestyle center. How original. The lifestyle center would be super unique, the project boasting about a mix of retail, dining, housing, and recreation. While plans are confirmed, there has not been an official closing/demolition date announced as of yet, though it would have to be soon, as this mall continues to fall. But at least I got to see it, because where else are you going to see roofs or store facades like that? Until next time, Connecticut, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you, and your Enfield Square Mall, farewell.